Hello, everyone. I'm going to do my presentation on excess under-5 mortality of children born to immigrants, longitudinal evidence from France. My presentation is divided into 6 sections. These are introduction, literature review, hypothesis, methodology, result, and conclusion. By way of introduction, we can note that ethnic disparities in child survival in France are evident in spite of much progress in child survival in France and around the world. At the same time, there are contradictory findings in the literature. For example, while some researchers document advantage in birth weight, preterm birth, and personal age among Maghreb women, some studies show that infants of Maghreb women present higher infant mortality. So we want to know if these disparities based on migratory origin are attributed to differences in the distribution of co-founding variables or to differences inherent to migratory origin. Many research have studied the infants, the health of immigrants and that of their children. And some theories have been studied. We will focus on 4 theories. The first one is health immigrant effects. This theory is suggests that there is unexpected health advantages of immigrants in spite of the lower socio-economic status. In terms of infant health, this means that there is intergenerational transfer of health advantages. There is some evidence on birth outcome and infant mortality in the US. About social capital, these mean the attribute of social organization, including network norm and social trust. For example, we can note that parental or partner support as a social capital. The third theory is discrimination occurs during the interaction between caregivers and immigrant women during prenatal or postnatal consultation. And some studies have shown that adverse birth is linked to discrimination. And the last theory is a country of origin context, which describes social sanitary characteristics of a country of origin, environmental factors. Based on the previous literature review, we retain 3 hypotheses. The first one suggests that migration background significantly contribute to under-5 mortality disparities, with African immigrants being particularly disadvantaged. The second hypothesis suggests that having the paternal support reduces the risk of under-5 mortality. And the last suggests that a higher percentage of birth of immigrant women in the local municipality is linked to a lower risk of under-5 mortality. Additionally, this association is more beneficial for immigrant women compared to native women. The data we use in this work is a set of several data files, including birth and death certificates and census data. It covers more than 600,000 births in France from 1919 to 2019. Our dependent variable is under-5 mortality, is a binary variable, indicates if children die before age 5 or not. The main independent variable is parental origin, measured as the mother's origin country. We create C group of immigrants, such as sub-Saharan African immigrant, North African immigrant, Eastern Europe, other countries of Europe, Asian, and other groups. Alongside this variable, we adjust for paternal support, indicate if the name of father have been registered in the birth certificate and his date of birth. We also use the percentage of birth of immigrants in the municipality and church characteristic and parental socio-economic status. About statistical analysis, we use open score method using inverse probability of treatment weighting. The idea of this method is to make comparable immigrant and native with regard to some characteristic. We also use longitudinal analysis by using viable model. Now I will present some results. The two graphs show equivalent balance before and after weighting. And in this graph, we can note that there is satisfactory balance for all covariables, specifically for the highest socio-personal categories. This graph is the hazard ratio before and after weighting. In this graph, we can see that before weighting, sub-Saharan African women and North African women exhibit higher under-5 mortality, and after weighting, they also present higher infant mortality. You can see that disparity remains in spite of the adjustment of our covariates. This led us to conclude that migration background plays a central role in the shaping of under-5 mortality inequalities independently of other characteristics. This step is the result of is a summary result of 3 models just for infant characteristic and parental characteristic. The third line indicates the effect of paternal support during the birth, during infant birth, and we can note that paternal support contribute to reduce infant mortality, under-5 mortality. The second, when we look at the percentage birth of immigrants, we can note that to live in a municipality with a high birth or percentage of immigrants increase under-5 mortality. And when we look at the interaction of percentage birth of migration status and the percentage birth, we can note that being born in the municipality, being born foreign born in the municipality with high infant percentage of immigrant birth is increased under-5 mortality. We can see that the percentage of birth of immigrants is not consistent with the inverse association between the percentage of immigrants in the neighborhood and preterm birth among sub-Saharan African women documented in other studies. As a conclusion, we can note that the only two hypotheses are confirmed, showing the important role of migration background and the paternal support in under-5 mortality inequalities. We can also note that the third hypothesis is rejected and show that there is adverse effect of the clustering of birth to children of immigrants on child survival. This work has some strength. The first one is it allows to address bias arising from differences in observed characteristics using propensity score method and clarify the real role of migration background in inequalities in the under-5 mortality. And finally, he allowed to have reliable regression estimates using a longitudinal approach. This work is not without limitation. The first limitation is the possible bias due to unobservable factors, because if this method can address bias arising from difference in observed characteristics, it can do it from unobserved factor. And the other limitation is the variable of paternal support. And we can ask if the way we measure it really reflects involvement or support during pregnancy. And the last limitation is the linking of biomedical and health behavior variable during pregnancy. I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you.